Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. Be yourself, see yourself. This is people. Belize our hopes are to needless reason. Nobody feel left out is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes. WB. And all the things that must be happen like I got blue skies. I love it make people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. Get up, make every day count. Don't waste it, people. Do your part, play a role, get where you need to. You can tune in for work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait? It's a time calling. It's a show with no matter even if you're at home. Just call in. WB. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize.
Good morning and welcome to Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes for this morning, Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025, behind the zinc fence in sweet Southside Belize City. Live and direct, Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes talk show on XTV, simulcasting on Creme Radio. Time for wake up. I really just want to go sleep on the rail, but we have to wake up at least until 9 o'clock this morning. Oh, we don't have to stay awake, because remember we have to go to Bliss 10 o'clock for Brother Kenny Morgan, if we not think the lie book launch of poetry. So we have to try stay awake a little bit. I can open up my eyes then wide. It's Wednesday morning here in Belize. Well, everywhere now, but we did Belizeanize it right now. Belize the Wednesday morning, hump day, some people call it. For everybody, we have to wake up and move. Give thanks to wake up and we can move. We'll start off with the usual lineup. We'll have the National Meteorological Service of Belize give the weather forecast for the day, and the forecaster is Tariq Matthews. Then we're going into the first news brief for the morning, prepared for us by XTV under the leadership of Maricela Maya. Quick break, then we'll come back, open up the phone lines. I need to know for calling today, because I don't tell you now I feel sleepy this morning, but I have to open up my eye wide. We're going to take one quick break so that we could go and read the news brief after the forecast from the National Meteorological Service of Belize.
Good morning. Mainly fair weather conditions will prevail. The 24-hour forecast, sunny with a few cloudy spells today and clear to partly cloudy skies tonight. Showers will be isolated. The maximum temperatures for today will reach 86 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 93 inland and 80 up in the hills. The low temperatures for tonight will be around 79 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 68 inland and 65 up in the hills. The winds from the open sea will be from the east at 5 to 15 knots, and the sea conditions will be choppy. A high tide will occur this morning at 6:48, a low tide this afternoon at 12:29, another high tide this evening at 6:37, and another low tide early tomorrow morning at 1:16. The sun rose this morning at 5:31 and will set this evening at 6:11. The moon will set this afternoon at 2:15 and will rise early tomorrow morning at 3:02. In the sargassum forecast, satellite imagery continues to show high concentrations of sargassum over the area. Therefore, there's a high chance that more sargassum mats will continue drifting ashore during the next several days. In the fire risk forecast, the risk for forest or bushfires will be high. The outlook for Thursday and Thursday night is for similar weather conditions. For a review of our forecasts and other products, please visit our website at nms.gov.bz. With that, we end this morning's forecast for the Belize National Met Service.
The first private radio since 1989, Creme FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news.
A vigil will be held for Punta Rock artist Concego on Thursday, April 24, beginning at 5 p.m. and ending at 10 p.m. It will start with a procession from Heights of Vibes studio off Forbes Road onto Central American Boulevard, then onto North Creek Street and end at DTH Studio on Seagull Street. On Friday, they will hold a celebration at Heights of Vibes studio, also starting at 5 p.m. Monday, we spoke with a few artists who were so close to Concego, they considered him a brother. They're still trying to process his sudden death. T.R. Shine recollected when he first met Concego, as they called him.
I met Concego back in 2003 when it wasn't actually me who introduced him to Heights of Vibes. It was one of our past brothers named Pungas, and we met him playing at, I forgot the club right here on the boulevard, and that's why I met him, and Pungas brought him back here, and we heard his exuberant talent, and that was there. He was a Heights of Vibes member. He was always a person that brought the A game in whatever he did, and this was what makes him so special, because I remember all the times recording songs with him that, like, okay, the last song we did was a song that was somewhat derogative, Uno Marasocas or something like that, right? So I remember the last session with him recording, well, that wasn't the last session, but that was one of the last sessions with me and him, personal songs beside all the celebration songs we do and all the election songs we do and what's not. But I remember just saying one word in a chant and Concego just repeat it back and run with it easily. So when you get behind the mic, that bam, 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 and it's finished. You know, and that's what makes him talented and exuberant. And beside that, as an individual, this is a very durable person to talk about. I mean, as a Heights of Vibes member, we've been around Concego for so many years. He's been around us, so blood, sweat, and tears. As a brother, we know what we go through. And you know, I would just like to say that make my brother fly peacefully in a glory, because everybody know that he touched everybody. Yeah. He heart me pure, you know. He heart me sweet. I'm a beautiful person. You understand? So I don't want to get emotional, but that's my brother.
Ronald Young C. Renner started his own DTH studio and says they pulled Concego over from Heights of Vibes.
That turned into a long time brothership. Me, he positive, Nello player, and even TR, everybody Zach. Like we turned that into a brotherhood. And for that moment there, that man that the only man we could call wrong way. We could vex the whole day, go through something with your girl, go through whatever. This man call wrong, he want to do something more just so I make her smile, laugh, open up her heart, joy pour out. That was it. Sometimes you find family in your house, but sometimes you find real family out the road. And that's my real brother, genuine brother, right? But if you say with the Garifuna scene, I don't believe there's nobody like Concego. Concego had their own style, their own everything. Like, he just be different than everybody. Energy-wise, make people feel good.
Isaac Stin, that Logan, is one of the regulars at DTH Studio and told us he was hoping to collaborate with Concego.
Man, that was brother, a full brother, and the artist, he's an artist, and as well as me, but we supposed to do a punta. My first punta, we support, like I tell him, I want to do a first punta, but I want to collab with you, or you help me out with this, you know. He said anytime, but most of the time, he never got time. right? But he still got time for come here we, hang out with we, and vibes up and go to the studio and stuff like that. But patient is a virtue, but I could handle patient, so I made wait for him. So yeah, so he got a slang way like said to like I never gone. Like I never gone. I think he bring that slang like early last year, yeah, like I never gone. That slang next to my slang going towards the next album when me come out with. Yeah, but I don't remember if I may finish it or not. Yeah. But knowing Concego as somebody where, man, joyful, a lot of energy. When he come around that Archie and it's on, So yeah, some punta music, it's on. And he talented, And I'm a young bedroom, brother, everything in one.
Different is also the word that Cyril Uruwe Garcia, cultural and political activist, used to describe Concego. He shared a quote from Steve Jobs. He says, encapsulates who Concego was as a human being and Belizean musical icon.
Says, here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward, and while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. They're people who you just look at, and in the entertainment world, in that space, he was just different. He was a rebel. Usually when you're just getting active out there and you see a big name on stage or in your presence, and it's not a matter of disrespect or trying to be bold, but there are some artists who would shy away or not really put out their all or their best because they're so humbled in the presence of others. While Concego wasn't disrespectful or trying to show himself, it doesn't matter who was around, he was Concego. And that's the power he carried. Each artist have their own way, their own contribution, their own style, their own voice. And what Concego contributed to Punta Rock is he was like the hip hop of the music in America, of the hip hop of Punta Rock, so to speak. That energy, that that confidence on stage. So in terms of carrying that forward, I'm sure that he has infected a lot of youths with that energy, especially our youths that are interested in Punta Rock.
Press release, the National Institute of Culture and History remembered Concego, the artist, songwriter, and producer. It recalled his journey into music as a teenager and wrote, quote, his undeniable passion and talent are evident in a string of hits such as, quote, Sidong and Bongs, end quote, Silfrida and Namole, end quote, among others. While his main genres were Punta Rock and Paranda, he was a versatile artist, also producing songs in cumbia, soca, and dance hall. He was known for his boisterous and energetic performances at home, in Belize, and on international stages in the US, Mexico, and Guatemala. Niche notes as well that Concego also had many collaborations with other Belizean artists, and in 2024, he collaborated with Thalia, T.R. Shine, and Roxy on the national celebrations hit, quote, Belizean Party, end quote. That was commissioned by the Office of the Prime Minister. He was also tapped for a contribution on a Belize-Taiwan song commissioned named, quote, Work Together, end quote. At Tuesday's police briefing, the Commissioner of Police, Chester Williams, spoke about the whereabouts of Akiniela Sawa Taylor prior to the plane hijacking incident on Holy Thursday. In particular, he addressed the denial of re-entry into Belize from Mexico due to not having a Mexico stamp in his passport the weekend prior to the incident.
In a situation like that where a person is refused entry, what happens is that that person is sent back to where they are coming from. If it was a situation where they were coming through the PGIA, what the immigration would do, they would issue an RLL, refuse leave to land. You would then be put on a next flight back out of the country. In this case, it's a land border. So what happens is that he is not allowed entry. So he went back over to the Mexican side. I think sometime on Sunday, not Sunday, I think perhaps Wednesday night, he was seen in the free zone. Again, to be in the free zone, if you're coming from Mexico, you don't pass through immigration. You would know the immigration station is after the free zone. So once you are a tourist from Mexico or whatever, you can have access to the free zone without immigration authorization. So he was found there. The matter was reported to Mr. Rosado. Mr. Rosado had directed the police that there was no offense committed because he was in the free zone area and he would not have reached immigration. So not even an immigration offense would have been committed. And so based on that, he had said that the person did not commit any offense. And I totally agree with Mr. Rosado. And any detention then would have been an unlawful detention. It so happens that Mr. Taylor, I guess, went back over into the Mexican side. And how he eventually returned into the country, we don't know. But again, I've said before, our border is very porous in that area, and so he could have easily slipped back into the country.
Williams explained that checks were made with the Corozal police formation to determine if Taylor should have been detained. He also said he was unaware of any reports Taylor had assaulted police at the Corozal Free Zone.
We're also hearing information now that he had assaulted some police officers, which was never reported to myself or Mr. Rosado. And certainly, if Mr. Rosado was told that he had assaulted any police, I'm sure that he would not have directed that the man not be detained. And even so, if a person assaults a police, you don't need to seek permission from the commissioner, the deputy commissioner, even your commander to arrest that person. You arrest that person there and then. There's no need for you to call and say, this person assaulted me, what can I do? No, you don't need to do that. So I believe that these things are just being done out of mischief and to create problems. And I can assure the public that what is being shared via the media houses in terms of the police lacks in dealing with the issue prior to the plane hijacking is not true. I had commissioned an investigation over the weekend to ascertain all the information, and even when I spoke to commander of MIU, he had contacted the OC in Corozal, asking if the now deceased Taylor was wanted by Corozal police for anything, and there was no answer forthcoming. Eventually, he was told no, and with that, the person was not detained, and he went about his business.
Williams said, as far as could be ascertained, thus far, Taylor was merely visiting Belize as a tourist.
Well, we don't have any information in terms of why he was here, other than the fact that he might have been a tourist. In terms of contacts, I've seen some video footage that showed him in certain areas. People questioned him about what he was doing, and he said he was a normal backpack, what do you call those people? Backpacker, moving around. So we do not per se stop people from coming into the country if they're coming in as tourists.
As to the fatal shot inflicted by passenger Fitzgerald Brown, the DPP will decide if he will face any charge.
That is not something that is going to be decided by the police, but I can tell you from a legal standpoint, looking at Section 38 of the Criminal Code, which deals with justifiable use of force and harm, it says that a person may use force even to the extreme necessity to kill in certain circumstances, and those circumstances include where it is perceived that one is going to cause grievous bodily harm to another, or even greater than that. And the force used can be either in defense of yourself or another person. Concerning situation that confront those persons on board that flight, where the lives of 14 or 16, 15 other persons were in danger by a knife-wielding man who had injured 3 persons on board that flight. It would be reasonably to say that the force used was justified. And so what we are going to do is to put the file together and we send it to the DPP for final determination.
Also revealed that should Taylor have survived, his crime would not have been considered an act of terrorism.
Well, under the Anti-Money Laundering and Terrorism Act, it would not meet the threshold of an act of terror. So, should he had survived this ordeal, he would have been charged perhaps for kidnapping, attempt murder, along those lines, but not for terrorism, no.
The Compo also addressed what happens now with Akiniela Sawa Taylor's body. He explained that the U.S. Embassy is dealing with that aspect and added that the family may choose to travel to Belize.
The matter is being dealt with by the U.S. Embassy. Obviously, we'll have to do a post-mortem examination. And once the examination is done, then if the family of the deceased persons decide to come to Belize, then they have to make arrangement with a funeral home to assist them in making the arrangement to ship the body back to the U.S. So that is what is normally done.
Heated online topic following the hijacking of an aircraft belonging to Tropic Air is the matter of Belize's laws concerning boarding airplanes with firearms. In the U.S., there are strict laws governing the aviation industry. In Belize, where domestic flights are concerned, the laws are rather lax. In fact, there may be no law governing such a scenario. However, Commissioner of Police Chester Williams said that is likely to change following this incident.
I don't think I have said that, no. And there is nothing either to say that you cannot. Yes, we would hope that nobody would be able to board an airline with any kind of weapon. And I believe that the time is coming that we are going to get there. It's a work in progress.
The Belize National Teachers Union, BNTU, is reaching out to its members to find out how they would want the union to express its dissatisfaction to the government over the recent increase in salaries for the cabinet secretary and chief executive officers. A message that is being circulated to members highlights that the increases come, quote, while teachers and public officers continue to experience financial hardship due to frozen and delayed increments, unpaid allowances, and salary upgrades, end quote. Meanwhile, the Houston Memorial Hospital Authority Workers Union, KHMHAW, yesterday issued a press release condemning the increase in salary for top government officials, a move that the KHMHAW states, quote, reeks of entitlement and political opportunism, end quote. The cabinet secretary's salary now jumps to 96,000 Belize dollars per annum, while that of ministry CEOs increases to 88,000 Belize dollars per annum. The increase is retroactive to March 13. The union calls the move a, quote, slap in the face to the hundreds of essential workers who carried this nation through crisis and continue to deliver care under increasingly difficult conditions, end quote. The union is now demanding the immediate prioritization of pension reform for KHMH staff, a freeze on salary increases for the aforementioned government officials, and the swift resolution of all outstanding labor matters. The union also said that if the government continues to delay arriving at progress regarding their pension, they will consider industrial action. And that brings us to the end of this morning news brief. immediately after Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes from 9 to 12 on Crumb Radio is Morning Stew. And you could get news, commentary, laughs, call-ins, free-for-all. Community conversation continues on Crumb Radio. At 12:30, there's a full news package on Crumb Radio. At 3 o'clock, there's a news brief. And at 5:15, there's a full news package. Here at XTV, full news package at 6 o'clock. And remember, you could link in at YouTube, XTV Belize, Facebook, XTV Belize, for XTV programming. We're going to take one quick break, come right back, open up the phone lines. We have two guests, one at 7:30 and one at 8 o'clock. So make sure you call in, come 7 o'clock.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989. The news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international
welcome back to Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes, and it's community conversation time. The number to call. I know. Then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Well, this week I'm only 2 weeks because Easter Monday I'm on holiday. But getting up early for catch the bus. Oh, I have to hail up people who give people a ride. Like real talk. Big thanks to people who still give people a ride. Me and Larry G and riding and we walk from Save You to Zinc this morning. Never expect for the rally walk, but I mean a goodly walk. So big thanks to the brother, big heart. Getting up our riding this morning. A sister tell me the bus when me for left 6 o'clock, Good Friday from Belize City to Ladyville, never come at 6. Central Transit, I really, I so tired of that bus. I only want to tired of that bus service. Tired of that bus service. But when I see with our new minister, if they get held accountable for not adhering to the bus schedule like they should, at least we get a bus schedule this time. Under the last minister, I couldn't get a bus schedule for nothing. Anyways, Central Transit, my eyes the pound. Since we got a new minister, my eyes the pound. Have to do better. Post on the bus schedule so people could see it, especially from public and bank holidays, and adhere to the schedule. Make when people go out there and could catch them bus, forget pan and forget pan the time when they forget there. And I think according to the schedule, the ride from Ladyville to Belize City should be 35 minutes bus ride. I just remember that because again I riding this morning. Thanks, brother. Remember at 10 o'clock this morning is Kenny Morgan's poetry book launch. The writings and ravings of a Belizean poet. If you don't think that lie, 10 o'clock, free. Bring on the $20 so you could buy a book. And then share it with somebody else. And before I saw yesterday and I forget to ask her for who bookshelf it is stand up front because that's an extensive lot of book there on that shelf. I think I know if that for him one, I am wild. If that's for him bookshelf, I am wild. Because a lot of people got bookshelves like that, but if not for him bookshelf, I must say why bookshelf. So I mean. But I want to find out that for who bookshelf and then I'm going to go see if I could make out some of the titles, then pass some of the books. I'm a lover of books. Kenny Morgan said that he was too. And so, no need for calling. I don't know what to talk about this morning. So, I want to read for you. There is this book, and this is why I say Southside Belize City in particular, that's sacred territory for me when it comes to for we African people. For them vibes, energy, stories, horror experiences, horrific things that happen in Southside Belize City. When I survive, like Belize song, we let go pa Halover Creek meet the Caribbean Sea. That was part of the first settlement me there. And then they expand it. Belize tongue, that the base for African descendants racialized as black people. Second, we there. And this book is called Discover Old Belize Tongue, Sites and Places of Memory by Aondofe Joe Eo. Aondofe Joe Eo. Panibaki say, in the period since its founding, Belize Tongue, now Belize City, has undergone the most far-reaching changes in its landscape. As a major center of population, the seat of government, and the commercial nerve center of the country, these changes have not been well-planned events, but a series of accidents, hurricanes, and fires which have together gradually but dramatically transformed the port city. Evan X. Hyde once described, quote, as flashy and attractive, like a Saturday night hooker, but whose makeup when exposed looks tired and wrinkled, old hag, end quote. I don't know why they have to look for a woman to find a storytelling comparison. We use my brother and we don't have to talk about we ex. Anyways, and we don't only we sell our body, because brother sell them body too. So one of the things where, like this particular book has 20, no, Nah, a lot. I never finished count. They have a lot of places that Belize tongue. So I tell you, what part and get information from for the history for this book, how Belize tongue gained name, how Belize tongue was settled, both St. George's Key, public spaces in Old Belize, the early description of Belize tongue, population growth and society, access to Belize tongue from the sea, Halova, the post office, fire station, cathedral, the bridge, government house, Honduras Free School, Regent Street, the courthouse, Newtown Barracks, the jailhouse, public hospital, the market house, the public slaughterhouse, St. Mary's Church, the Presbyterian Church, Wesleyan Methodist Church, the Redeemer of the World Roman Catholic Church, the Baptist Meeting House. There are historic spaces that Belize tongue, you know. The Seventh-day Adventist Chapel, Belize tongue burial grounds, the Southside Canal, also known as West Canal, St. Catherine's Academy, Ibo Tongue, Fort George, Government Savings Bank, Bank of British Honduras, the Mill Park, St. John's Public School, St. John's Birchman's College, the first ice factory, Pong Yard, electricity, the turf clubs, racetrack, golf club. I wonder how much I want to... Pacliff, you know what they call the place Pong Yard? Who all know what they call Pong Yard, Pong Yard? You know that man dog Pong me today? That's why they call the place Pong Yard. It says on January 20, 1900, the Pong Yard was established on Cemetery Road, Belize tongue. It is now the site of the Belize City Council Street Maintenance and Sanitation Offices. That before they sell off the thing. The dog pong is said to have been established in Yabra on June 1st, 1915. So that's how Pong Yard gave name. Now, what we know as West Canal, I just read and talk because, well, we're not calling. Number at 280-5848. 280-5848. This is the Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes talk show here at XTV Behind the Zinc Fence. And I could join you at XTV Belize YouTube, XTV Belize Facebook. Put in the comments, or if I read on comment with somebody shared on Facebook yesterday, with a valid comment based on something where I say, Belize known for poor customer service. 10 past 7 at 7:30, we're going to break. We have one guest scheduled from 7:30 to 8. I have another guest scheduled from 8 to 8:30. So, call in. The Southside Canal, also known as West Canal. The decision to dig a canal for drainage on the south side apparently commenced in June 1810. Members of the West India Regiment recruited from West Africa were paid 1/8 per diem to dig the canal. In January 1818, a decision to extend the Southside Canal to the river was made. So, you see, we the boat and we don't have, we just take the geographical spaces for granted. We don't think much of it, the canal today, or walk over it, or drive over it, or ride over it. You don't think nothing much about it after that. That canal, they started to dig that canal 215 years ago. We talk about West Canal. 215 years ago. People would often say, oh, enslavement was a long time ago. Keep telling you, we have, but because we don't know the stories, one of the things that may surprise me, I have a fascination with cemeteries. One of the things where I was just wowed by, that the amount of cemeteries in a Belize city. Not for we live on top of grave, on bones of people and that one. That one. No Christian folk like that, but what I sin, that's sin. How you treat your dead, that's a reflection of the values of our community and our people. But talk about graveyard, Belize, this a place that, look man, they had one to the corner, I can find it, to the corner, well to the best of my memory, to the corner Church Street and Albert Street. Make I just look and say, they also had a free school. They had I gone over the different locations that are covered. Okay, I find it. So I got and I looking at the book, right? In this book, I found out about all the cemeteries in the inner Belize city. And I find just this one book alone, and brother Ondofe Joe Iyo did a good thing in this book, and everybody will help him. I find 10 places. Now, listen to Upper Island Cemetery then there. So the old Yabra Cemetery opening in 1792, and what we call Albert Street at the time was known as Back Street, and what we call Regent Street or Miss Benita, De Benita Gordon Street now, the what I'm Front Street. It was in use, the Yabra Cemetery, it was in use continuously until 1881 or 1891 or 1896, depending on the source one is citing. So, I never start at number one, I start at number two. The first record of a cemetery in Belize Town is captured on a plan of the south side drawn by David Lamb, the surveyor commissioned to divide the town into lots in 1787. So, I could see how, you had a time frame what I give, right? 1787, so that the 238 years ago, Belize town then gave the surveyor the job for divide the town into lots 238 years ago in 1787. The cemetery was located on the corner of Church and Back Streets and bordered by what became the Southside Canal. So we talk from Church Street, many years ago the cyclists that used to hang out, Kana King and Church Street, to the canal side, everything on the left, that me burying ground, 238 years ago. Then it said the archives of British Honduras states that at a meeting of committee held on 25th July 1787, it was discussed that a cemetery be established 210 feet in length from north to south, beginning from the front to the back street, that of our Regent Street, not Albert Street, respectively west of Lagoon to the Lagoon. Anyways, that's a lot of details. So that was part of the first cemetery there, Kana Church and King Street. And then apparently the space get inadequate on the 31st of August 1791 at a quarterly meeting with the grand jury. A recommendation made for obtain Captain Yarborough part of his plantation for a public burial ground. So that's how the second burying ground come about, where we know that Yabra burying ground. Then that closed down in 1881. And after that, they start to bury people in the vaults. So in 1882, they start to bury people in the vaults where we now use as one park. But then the vaults closed down 4 years later. So, make we say, we are subtract 1882 from 2025. So that's 143 years ago, the vault, the Yabra opened. So they were constructed by Gustav von Olahef at Queen Charlotte Town, once called Cooletown or Calcutta, south of the Yabra Cemetery in 1882. Now, this European, Gustav von Olafen, they commissioned him for build the courthouse and other public buildings in 1878. So the same person will build the courthouse, the public buildings, also build the vaults. How about he end up being the first person to be buried in the vaults after it get completed in 1881. This is a new kind of cemetery described as a subterranean structure. The people in Belize Town demanded its closure, and in 1886 the vaults were closed for public use. Then the fourth cemetery opened. Want to think that fourth cemetery name? We should have known it because the one we still used to the day. 139 years ago, Lord Reid Cemetery opened for the interment of the dead on either the 1st of March or July 16th on the land taken from the estate of Edward Lord for the non-payment of taxes. So they repossessed the man land, kind of pay tax as they should have. The area now called Lord's Ridge Cemetery was once called Soldier's Ridge. It appears that the Yarborough Cemetery was still in use until 1896 when it was wholly closed. We're not calling it, that's why I read to know, or the share with to know. But all nice cemetery with a Belize tongue and it's a ghost tongue for true, the whole south side. Oh, they had one pan outside to me, but tell me about that one day. Anyways, number 5, the Yellow Fever Cemetery, also known as New Contagious Diseases Cemetery, opening in 1884 for the purpose of disposing the hundreds of dead corpses during the summer months of that year, and subsequent yellow fever deaths in the 20th in the 20th century. It was located on the Western Highway, a few meters away from Lord Ridge's Cemetery. The site of the cemetery is now unidentifiable due to overgrown brush and lack of attention. So the first burying ground with the kind King and Church Street. The second one, the Yarborough. The third one, the Vault. The fourth one, the Lord Ridge. The fifth one, this one, what I may call the New Contagious Disease Cemetery, that they say that they are a few meters away from Lord Ridge. The sixth cemetery. The Handbook of British Honduras states that in 1840, the Crown granted a piece of land at Freetown to the Baptist Mission for use as a burial ground. The Baptist Cemetery can be located behind what used to be Belize Technical School, now Faculty of Science and Technology, University of Belize, Belize City campus. So, the old Belize Technical College, they have one, people buried there, so, you see, we don't know your stories. All kind of violation happen. I know remember Belize still a majority identifiable African people, African descendants, mixtures, but there are for we ancestresses and ancestors remains. No marker. Nobody don't know say they may bury there. And we just go along. 7. There's evidence that the Crown had granted the Wesleyans a piece of land west of the Vaults. A careful review of evidence and actual site evidence shows the following cemeteries near the Vaults. Now, this is for the Methodist people, the Crown getting one piece of land west of the Vault, so the wrong part of the Vault, then the Bakayabra. Then say the following cemeteries near the Vault: the Cholera Cemetery, and a section labeled Wesleyan. Now, one of them people are Wesley, the Methodists know this. The latter is now the site of a disused water tower and a playing field in what used to be called Queen Charlotte Town. It says it's still unclear the precise date for the establishment of the Cholera Cemetery. In 1868, then suggests based upon one of the epitaph. 1868 is the suggested establishment for the Cholera Cemetery based on one date with one of the epitaphs. Instead, I need to stress that not all the graves were built with concrete and not all of them had epitaphs. Moreover, houses have been built on top of many of the graves, thus rendering it extremely difficult to obtain a complete picture of the site. Nevertheless, what is clear is that on February 14, 1896, the Cholera Cemetery was closed for public use. Development has overtaken much of the spaces once occupied by the cemeteries in Belize Town. The Cholera Cemetery, for example, is now less than 0.1% of its original size, and only partial evidence of graves can now be visible to the eye. If anybody know about any graveyard, call with 280-5848. So, 10 cemeteries, north side and south side Belize City. There are 8. There's also a record of a military cemetery for the members of the West India Regiment north of the Newtown Barracks, referred to historic cemeteries. When precisely this cemetery was first used is unclear. However, it appeared on map sketches of Belize Town dating as far back as 1841 and as recent as 1950. The cemetery, like many others, is today either laying underneath somebody's house or under a street in Belize City, or yet has been washed away in one of the numerous hurricanes that have visited Belize tongue. I think that's the one my pa tell me about Marine Parade. That's the one my pa born 1940. So I think he said by the cemetery had there's some fruit tree because he knows go pick fruit from there. So yeah, he tell me about that one day. 10. Apparently, there are several other cemeteries, including the Presbyterian Cemetery, probably located in yet to be identified sites throughout the older sections of Belize Town. These private cemeteries were the subject of intense debates until February 5, 1851, when permission was finally granted to the ministers of the Wesleyan, Baptist, and Presbyterian faiths the right to officiate at the interment of the deceased of their respective congregations within the burial ground at Yabra. And the following year, January 28, 1852, the same right was extended to the Roman Catholic clergy. Men, well, I just can't text, make I say, what the text they say. I pay attention to there, Alexei. Larry G say, one cemetery by St. John's behind Faber's Road. Okay, I don't know about that one, but so Larry G say, they have one cemetery over there too. So that's a number. Oh, so, yeah. So the Wesley Methodist people, the Baptists and the Presbyterian, couldn't officiate when people from Fidel Church dead until the Anglican then give them permission for do that in the burying ground at Yabra. And then the following year, 1852, then offer the Roman Catholic the same opportunity. And then number 10, besides the denominational cemeteries, so based on your faith, they had their own cemetery. Anglican had their own cemetery, Catholics had their own cemetery, Methodists had their own cemetery, Baptists had their own burying ground, Presbyterian had their own burying ground. Besides the denominational cemeteries, there were also individual cemeteries, like the one now identified as a small Jewish cemetery, also called Hebrew Burial Ground, located near the confluence of Belize River and Halover Creek, referred to Historic Cemeteries, figure 7.2. When the Jews first arrived in Belize Town is not known. However, in 1814, a law prohibiting them from becoming residents was annulled, meaning that a request must have been lodged by a Jew to that effect. When we know said Jew in that Belize, in the 1800s, they got burying ground and all. And so this is what happened when you know your own stories. I have another 5 minutes and you call 2805848. I shall talk about this more, but anyways, I want to talk about it now. Ina, 18. Oh, Carla, thanks for call. 5 minutes. Talk to her.
Hi, morning. Sorry to interrupt. I just try to get to before the break. Could you please give the name of the book? And is it local in purchase? Because they're interested in a
first off, thank you for calling and show interest in the book. You like read?
I read it, but I try. I know I read love novels.
It sounds like Kenny G. I don't know if you could get a book, to be honest, but you could check. It's called, if you could show the image again, please, Alexei. It's called Discover Old Belize Town, Sites and of Memory by Anne Dauphin Joio. I feel that ISCR need for though. This was published in 2005 by the Institute of Social and Cultural Research, ISCR, National Institute of Culture and History, niche. But what happened is that based on the administration with the in, then the publication, and I may find out about under the UDP administration, I may find another book, and I thought, I mean, they're not the best, but I say better than nothing. I never said this one first. This one is more thorough than the other one for under the UDP administration. This is now a PUP administration. So I really feel that they need for either republish this or update it and republish it, because if people don't know about it, then can't ask for it. So
right, and I think it should be something when it should like include in a school, like put aside politics and everything, like our history, and nobody talk about it every day. So it's really interesting.
It is like when if you have this book and you walk I mean, I'm telling you the truth, right? UEF not got no money, but I always feel as a fundraiser that UEF and only UEF should have the rights to the one African descendant Belize City tour. Nobody else. Because if anybody else do it, the one financial transaction, that's it. The like one other tour for tourists, give I not depend pimp off for we people history like that. That's how I feel. So I feel like only we got the right for the one tour like that. And really the tour should start with Belizean people. For the one tour of Belize City with Belizean people, first and foremost, only Belizean people. So that we know for we story, we know what the African Emancipation Day, August 1st. With the work with the states.
Question or quick is that.
Go ahead.
I don't know since you said it's already available. I don't know. Probably can I connect with you so I get a copy? Like literally put a copy in here.
I don't know.
I get it.
We had one bunch, but I get away. They don't last long. I give a lot. I give a lot. And so this might be the last one that I have left. I want to look and see. Sis, but I don't know, but I want to look and see, and then I want to check with ISCR niche. You could call ISCR niche. You could ask for them to come or Giovanni Pinello. Ask them if they have one copy of this book for you. Tell them YaYa say. That might help you if you say YaYa say. But you could call ISCR and ask them. I really appreciate. But since you like book, I don't know where the 10 o'clock this morning, you might want to go to Bliss.
I know. I didn't listen to it yesterday, but I kind of have priority at work. But could you please share your number and then I'll
Sure. My number is 671-8050. 671-8050. Thanks for the call, sis, and I really appreciate it. I know so you're listening.
You're welcome.
Have a good day. Take care, guidance. Yes. So this year, August 1st, you know we usually have, I don't apply to the state yet for the funding what we usually get, so we could have African Emancipation Day recognition, commemoration, and other activities where UEF usually have. I don't apply for the funding yet, but I trust they want to give you the money. So what I want to do this year, that we left from when we don't have the petal release and drum call, the Marin parade, that we walk from there to the corner of Duck and Church Street, where we should put a marker up, because that our part, Simon Lamb, and the end to legal chattel enslavement of African people in the British territories, August 1st, 1838. 50 years later, in 1888, and this is what they not tell you, and they mean not tell you. So we may think when US started recognizing African Emancipation Day that we are the first one, nothing also. In 1888, they had a group of people identified as black people. They never asked like the middle class Creole for one in a political mix-up. They asked for an Emancipation Institute that became known as the People's Hall, because they see the value of reading and learning and staying knowledgeable. So one whole long mix-up, I'll tell you about it Monday. But they end up, they build the building, the old BTL office there, midday, but then one hurricane come and knock it down. So we want to put one mark up there for remember where people are. So we could start to include that in a African Emancipation Day, and we also considered our Reparation March, African Reparation March. So starting this year, we did a walk, and then when we did the walk, I could carry the book with me, and then the places that we would pass, we could say, okay, these are, you know, could do one dry run our African Belize City tour. Now, I tell you no, I don't want nobody else do it. We'll talk. We're going to break. It's 2 cents come time, brought to us by Fort Point Security.
You're watching WUB, and this is XTV. And every day people complain about light and blackout. Not only that, but people also complain about if you lose your appliances, who reimburse you back for it? And the 2 cents question of the day, How does blackout affect the people? We need to find out that. Make I go find out the people in 2 cents.
We don't
might be calling him old man.
I gotta reboot it. Go ahead.
All right, so your 2 cents on the blackout, it affect you as a businessman?
Well, it affect me. Depends on where the because I got roast chicken and also my telephone work on calling. So I got one straight line and I work with telephone and then another one 202, so that active and without that I can't get no call. So yes, it hamper me. And in terms of when the evening time, like I'm a solar like cause you know. I got my solar so.
So question.
Point by camera man, cause I got small one there. Solar light. So.
That's a prevent you from making use of
just for lights, but I got a roasted everywhere work with electricity and my phone work with electricity. So then the two things that affect me.
Blackout go, I knock on again. What the next step you take?
Why? That was a good one you put for me there. Well, that one there.
I like coming blackout.
Yeah, well, long as you don't blow it out, man. So I try to get
question.
Good stuff.
I hear what you say. What if it blow it out?
Well, if you blow it out.
Who you could run to?
Well, a lawsuit.
All right. That's your 2 cents.
That's my 2 cents.
All right. All right, as a businessman, how the blackout affect you?
Well, it affect me a lot.
Yeah.
You know. Well, I think it affect everybody, every business person.
Yeah.
You know, because they tell you one time, after when you look, you go off another time.
Yeah.
You know, like last night they tell you Ladyville going, but they don't tell you specific way here. They have to, you either prepare for them or, you know.
Next question, next 2 cents I got. What if you lose appliances?
Well, that's the next thing.
Who reimburse you back?
Then now,
but you still have to pay for light bill.
You still have to pay.
I just dash out the 2 cents.
In everything, I still have to pay.
Yeah.
Right?
That's your 2 cents.
That's my 2 cents on that, brother.
No, yeah, just left me in the dark.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but I wait for that, all right. Nothing we can do.
All right. That's right there, that's your 2 cents.
Yeah.
All right. You don't worry about it. So you don't worry about the black one at all. You are living it.
I got no comment on that, man.
Right. How the blackout affect you?
Worst kind of way, especially in my son condition right now. I had to find an extra for going to buy one solar fan.
Simply.
Real, because without current it messing up. So I had to find an extra for getting a solar fan.
Oh.
So I have to cope with it though.
That's your 2 cents?
Yeah. Respect.
Oh, to get hot, you get frustrated. Yeah. I had to buy me pack a candle the other night.
How long you don't buy candle?
I just buy it the other night, like last week when the blackout.
How long?
How long?
Candle, like for say, how long blackout again?
For like years.
Oh, so now you're really.
So now I really.
So how you manage with the heat?
I take lick.
That's your 2 cents?
Lick. Yeah.
All right.
I don't like it, but I go in and bed go sleep.
You can't do it without a fan?
No, I have to sleep with that. Have to.
So if blackout go in the evening, 7 o'clock when your bedtime.
Well, no, I don't know, but I'm not going on my bed. Or sleep and never not take the cool breeze.
That's your 2 cents?
My 2 cents.
welcome back to Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes for this Wednesday morning at a pep up leave it. I appreciate that call over Carly. At least I know somebody to listen to me. Hey, I use the timing. I mean, I know I had a guest, but I tell you no, I sleep so I know the function 100, right? So and I tell you no, for the first time I come for considering for most of the month, April, that I have a concern about literacy because of my initiative, UEF, to work with community partners that's seen bite. And a number of Belizean children, they not get tested for silver part and there as far as their literacy competency, and then offered meaningful intervention. So for a period of time, a number of Belizean children just to get passed from class to class, even though they're not competent in literacy. Well, drum roll, this morning we have a retired Belizean educator, and now she's a reading consultant. So we have Sister Ernilda Mejia. Morning, sis.
Good morning.
I'm so thankful you could make it. I try to get on from April start, you know. But you can know your grandchildren that you prioritize.
I'm happy that I was able to come today. Good morning, everybody.
Give thanks, sis. So, how long were you an educator for in the school system in Belize?
I was in education for the past 25 years.
Oh, so what classes you teach?
I taught all levels from infant 1 way up to high school level. I was able to teach at the university level, UB. Yeah, so I have a wide experience of teaching.
All right, good. And you really like it the whole time?
Oh,
like
yes.
You get a man and you say, I want to teach them Belizean picnic?
Yes, I enjoyed it very much. Not one day I could have said that, I don't want to go to work today. I was quite energetic up to now. I am very eager to get up and go to school. The beauty of it is to plan my work and go on the job and execute.
Right. All right, give thanks. So now you're retired. So besides being a grandmother, and near the work power specific initiative.
Right.
Before you get there, how would you describe literacy in Belize? For a number of we think that once you can read, well, you're literate. But reading is a component of literacy. How would you describe literacy?
Okay, so when you look at literacy, literacy means reading and writing. And I would include in that too comprehension. It's not just reading for read's sake. Because many times a person or the students could read a passage or a text, and when you ask them to interpret it, sometimes they're not able to. So when you look at reading, it's reading, writing, and for me, I include comprehension.
Okay. And what has been your experience over the years teaching Belizean students from infant 1 to tertiary level? How would you, honestly, sister, describe the literacy capacity of Belizean students over all the 20 plus years you teach?
It's quite an experience. As I mentioned that I have a passion for reading and also to teach reading. And actually for a teacher to teach reading, you really have to know your stuff. Know your phonics, be able to teach sight words, looking at fluency. There are different fluency skills that you need to teach, and then you want to tap into comprehension. Now, a reading teacher needs to implement all of these, and I would want to say at some point it is happening in the classroom, but teachers need to put it together, because if you don't put it together, like teach it holistically, then children will miss out one or the other. And also, teachers need to look at the students who are struggling. The students who are struggling need more time. They need individualized teaching, and they need to learn individually, because based on our classrooms, it's most of the time it's a whole class thing, one size fits all. Our teachers and anybody who is teaching reading need to focus on the children who are struggling, who are behind, and leave as much time for them, him or her.
No, I hear you. But the real is, one number of Belizean teachers, my experience, from talking to students and observing teachers, they really don't know how to teach. They got colonial papers, but they don't know the art, like they don't know pedagogy. They don't know how to implement pedagogy. They don't know how to teach. So besides that they don't know how to teach, they don't have training in a literacy. So how we want to expect them to do something where, one, they're not trained in a, and two, even when they train in a, they're not demonstrate that they could do it. Now, when you observe other school settings like outside of the country of Belize, when you meet master teachers, that's how you know, like, yo, we give we children a basket for backwater with, like, and the children they keep the pass and they go for, you look at private schools, for example, there's a big, it's unfair to our children. So I seriously, how, like, we the fail for we children there. How, right now, and I want to try again, I call me back. I did ask the Ministry of Education, one, how honor define literacy. Two, what evidence do you have that under the test Belizean students from infant 1 to standard 6 for find out what the mastery of literacy. Now I know they have standard 2 and standard 3, something alive. But when I'm to infant 1, infant 2, standard 1, standard 3, standard 4, standard 5, standard 6. There's no, so how you want to know, and especially now, like got standardized testing. There's no, really, they move away from standardized testing, so there should be individual folders for each child. So the parents or guardians have a responsibility to go to school and say, I can check my YaYa this week. Make I see folder. Make I say what grades you get in all the subject. And then they could give you one assessment so that you could say 85. I can't take no calls right now. Greetings, caller. I need you to call back. I have one guest, please. Please call back. What 75% mean? What do you mean? I look and say what 75% mean. Then drop the passing grade. When I'm going to go to school in the 80s, the passing grade, I'm at 70. Then drop it to 60. Like, why are you lowering the bar? Tell me, sister. Talk to me.
Okay, Miss YaYa, there's a lot of things that came out through your observation. And I will start with the last part, the latter part of your comment that most schools, their passing mark is 70. That's what I know. I don't know if at any primary school, the passing mark is 60. I know it's 70. So that's one.
A high school?
High school is 60.
I'm sorry.
At the primary level.
I should have said it was high school I was talking about. Oh, 60%.
Okay.
So you're right.
Right. It is 60, but at the primary level, it's 70. Another thing I want to touch about reading, as you talk from, I'm mostly focused on primary level, that reading is a challenge for many teachers. They don't, some have, some don't. But if you look at it, how our curriculum is set, from the preschool level, teachers have their manual to teach literacy. And when you look at that, everything is embedded there. And so if they follow that manual, the student will be able to transition from preschool to infant 1. And so it continues. But you know that sometimes because of the challenge, the amount of students in the classroom, the different type of learners, then there's a setback. And you want to look at teachers too when they are trained. They are being taught at the university to pass on or to their taught strategies how to teach language arts or reading strategies and so on. But not many teachers have the opportunity to, if I could recall, most of the reading courses come in the bachelor's level, but many teachers don't do the bachelor's, so that's a setback for them. And so with that, then they have a problem there. But while I was at the Ministry of Education, myself and some other colleagues at that time, we used to go around and do training for teachers, principal, and we did this at the district level. But as the time changed, then some teachers left, some principal left, and so the transition is not there. So some teachers that would come on, some new teachers wouldn't have that opportunity like the other teachers that we had trained at the district level. We used to do a whole lot of training for teachers in phonics, in reading comprehension, and personally, we used to do, myself, we used to actually do hands-on to show the teacher, like if we are showing them how to blend, we would actually give them hands-on activities, how to blend, because blending is one of the main skills that children need to be able to read. Blending and identifying letter songs, putting it together so that they can read. Another thing, vocabulary. There are a lot of strategies that in vocabulary and reading strategies that we show teachers. And once teachers don't have this, then there's the challenge.
And then another thing is that most of the students, English is not for first language, that Creole. So you use your tongue differently for say Creole words than you, like, you know, I say no TH and ED.
Exactly. And so with this present program that I'm doing at ACC, children have missed out. They have really missed out. I have 13 students that is in this program, and these children have so much weaknesses. And when you look at the, you call it consonant digraph, and when I would be teaching them the ones that they don't know, like for example, WH, which is, and TH, which is, the children, they come with different songs, like for example, the TH, they would say D, D. And so if you are spelling a word, you said we talk Creole, they want to say that, D-A-T. And so the teacher need to give the correct pronunciation of that consonant digraph, which is that. And so the minute the teacher don't stress that, then the children will have some difficulty in spelling the word. And not only that, like WH, sound like the song comes way from within. And if you don't say that, like for example, let's look at the word Creole, whale. Whale, W-A-L-E. Where is the, like a who? Where is the, so that the child know that the W is not only a W, it's a W-H. So this is where some teachers falter, some would do it correctly, but again, as teachers, you need to be consistent. Children need a lot of practice with songs and vocabulary with a specific symbol that they are teaching.
What has been a big eye-opener, because like I said, we do work, the organization I lead, with some students and the community out of St. Bite. There's a private school in Placencia. Me personally, hands down, feel are the best primary school in the country. And the owner and educator is Loretta Logan. And she said something to me where I never hear it. I have colonial papers in our education.
Okay.
And I know the importance of teaching children in a mother language instead of forcing a colonial language on them.
Okay.
But she said one of the distinct difference in teaching literacy at Belize is to understand that Belizean students are considered second language, like we English that we second language. But the way they teach we that, like, then they force it per we that it will be for we first language, and that one mindset change right there so make one big difference. And most people I never heard it before. I've never heard it before. And I just say, my goodness, but people are insisting that this is how you teach English, and you have to stop talk Creole, I have to talk English. Now, I agree the books are written in English, but you have people that learn so much, have their first language, their mother tongue, they're not English, that's something else. But when they're taught English, they're taught, it make them understand that their mother tongue important. It's not less than the dominant language.
Let me add to that. The thing is for the mother tongue is for them to understand. But at the same point too, don't want to go further, you need to teach them the English. It's, let's say for example, I am telling you something and you're not getting it. Then I will tell you in Creole. And then at another point I will say, okay, this is how you say it in English. So there's two distinction there. The mother tongue, they need it, because if I was teaching a little Garifuna boy something and he's not getting me, I will need to speak Garifuna or need to speak Spanish just for him to get it. The thing is to pass on the information and students learn it the best way they can.
So we have another 5 minutes. Tell me where you want to know about it's an intervention program that you're dealing with at ACC.
Yes.
How the children are eligible for getting in your program?
Okay, so the program started September. I have 13 students. And so I had to do an assessment first to assess these children to see where they are. So I assessed all the students in first form, and I came up with 13 students who were struggling. 4 were actually struggling, but the others had varied degrees of weaknesses.
What method did you use to assess them?
I use a test being used in the Caribbean. It's a microdiagnostic test. And so when you look at that test, the test assesses oral reading, sight words, reading comprehension, and fluency. So I would look at that and I record how they are doing. Because when you look at reading, if a child don't know to identify a letter or a song, that's already a red flag. When you start to blend, won't be able to blend the word. Let's say they don't know letter B. They don't know that, they can't sing out the word. Similarly, the vowels. If children don't know the short and long vowel songs, they won't be able to sing a word. Simple red, you don't know letter E, the song a E, or the song a D. How can you go on?
Sis, how we learn to read and we never got phonics when we were younger? How we learn to read? That's what I want to know. How we learn to read?
Well, I don't know about you, but I could say about myself, I could still recall when I started in Infant 2, my teacher, she brought a box. I could still remember. She brought a box with lot of cutout letters. And she would say, okay, build words, any words you know. And so you build the words. No, this is the exact thing that our students need, hands-on. If you are doing short vowel songs or long vowel songs, or you are doing digraphs or vowel digraphs, then you want children to build words with those and build on vocabulary with the specific song or vowel that they don't know, because to read, you need to know vocabulary. You need to know sight words. Build a sight word. Even, you know what, tell them some the sight word. Sorry for the Creole. You won't tell them to song the sight word, because the researchers say you don't song because some don't follow the rule. But you will ask them to build the sight words. So these are the things that children do need to help them. I want to stress how blending is so important and for children to learn to read. And also, for children to learn to read, they need a lot of encouragement and motivation. And once they see you there for them, they will do their part.
Sis, I guarantee you, most Belizean teachers don't know their songs. They don't know. Sis, listen to me. I will tell you, right now, if I go and say, no, and I know I'm not going to say it right, because I don't know them either. I don't know, that's why I say I don't know how I learn for read, because I don't know blending, I don't know dip, I don't know it. And I feel that most people don't know their songs. So, important, then 13 students from September till now, because I know the program we use, they use it based on international standards and age group. So when they do the assessment, they have children from standard 2 to 6, what are that grade level for children 7 to 8 years old. So what are the assessment for the two where you use for them to know that they're not that grade level when it comes to literacy? How do they measure
Okay, so the assessment that I am using is a microdiagnostic test that is being used in the Caribbean. So it assesses grade level from preschool way up to grade 8. And so when I administer the test, it shows exactly where the child is at and the challenges. So like for example, I have this, the 4 students in this said program where student 1, when I assessed him, he was reading at a grade 2. A grade 2 is a standard 1 level. He's at a standard 1 level. Then I had another one.
Standard 1?
Standard 1.
And what class in a first farm?
He's in first farm.
But he's reading at a standard 1 level?
Yes.
So tell me some more, tell me more data like that.
Okay, so then I had, well, there were 2 at grade 2, which is at a standard 1 level.
Standard 1 level.
And then I had one at grade 3, which was at standard 4 level.
Now we talk about first farmers.
Yes, these are first farmers.
Right.
These are first
And I don't think, no, I don't know how much students you had. How you choose them 13? Like,
okay, I choose them because they were struggling. So if you look at student 1 that I called earlier, that was at a standard 1 level, he was struggling in everything, in oral reading, fluency, phonics, blending, vocabulary. His sight words were at a grade 1. He was reading sight words at infant 2 level. And if I look at my data here, there's a lot of songs that he didn't know. Yes, like for example, he didn't know the song a E, the song the short vowels O, U, the song a Q. Then when you look at the vowel digraphs, the O and the E, the long A, the some digraphs, consonant digraphs. And this is a trend that I find in some of the students. They have varied degree of weaknesses, whether it's in phonics, the blending, they don't have the skill to blend, they are not comfortable. Some of them lack self-confidence, self-esteem, and they feel like because they are at standard 5, standard 6, or even at first farm level, that they should not be blending. So I had to mold them, motivate them, encourage them, and say, we can do it. You want to learn to read? We can do it together. You have to be with me. And this is how we went from September up to now. And I'm happy to say that I did a mid-assessment with these students, and it showed plainly that some of the children moved. So the student who read from grade 2, he moved up to grade 3. That was the end of December. And then I had one that was at grade 5, a standard 4 level. He moved up to grade 6. But that is just a mid-assessment. So when I go back May, like the first or second week of May, I will be doing another assessment to see how these children have improved. But I want to say too that even though some have been very weak in phonics, blending, and sight words, there were some other students who were weak in comprehension and fluency. So I tackled the phonics and the blending first. Simultaneously, I pushed in the sight words. We did that together. And then now, this mid-semester, I was mostly working on comprehension and fluency. Because reading is not only reading. You have to read with a fair enough or sufficient pace, right. So you won't be reading and picking. You have to read fluently.
Let me ask you this last question because I'm way over time.
Yes, ma'am.
Why does literacy matter?
It does. It does. Literacy matter all over. Because if the student do math, if the student do science, any subject area, it matters. Even with adults, you need literacy because you need to be able to comprehend. You want to look at adult literacy, you go out there and you pull out a farm. You need to know, like read in context, what does this vocabulary mean? It matters. It do matters.
Big thanks. I get exactly where I'm going to look for. I appreciate your time and we'll definitely have your back. And so we had this morning Sister Ernilda Mejia, retired educator, and now a reading consultant, and she's currently at ACC. Big thanks for your time. I hope Rasul win the Ulster and bear patience with me. We'll be right back. Thanks.
You're welcome.
20 years ago.
Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Time to go. Next guest in at the house. I tell them I bring the sister, you know, I control. Give thanks. No, this morning. Guess who's at the house? Ras Ruben, owner of Vegan Bites. Morning, Ras Ruben.
Blessed love, YaYa.
Hey,
blessed
hey.
love, Belize.
We got tamales.
Rastafari.
I got tamales. I just want to know, say, you bring tamales. Anyways, Ras Ruben there because we had a conversation earlier this month about the importance of taking care of our well-being, mind, body, spirit. That include the people who are wrong, what we spend time to read or to watch. Anything we ought to make go in would not have the highest vibration. And, you know, food that your health, food that your life. So I'm going to say that Vegan Bites as a eatery has dramatically changed the food landscape for Belizeans who needed to eat healthier, taste the food, variety in a food, and affordability. Now the price must be going up soon because you can't expect the man to keep the price where it always been when the cost everything to go up. But Ras Ruben, how the heck you come up with Vegan Bites? What make you, how you may know we need this before we may know we need it? How you may know?
Well, blessed love, give thanks
Every
to the
time.
inspiration, you know, that this a chain reaction, you know, lifestyle and necessity, you know. As a Ras, I realized that they don't have no safe space so we really eat. People say, the beans don't got in no pigtail. I you eat pigtail in these beans. The rice cooked with such a, and it's salty. And I realized that there was no safe space, right? Especially for somebody who devoted to their cause, you understand? So that my devotion really bring the inspiration to me to say, well, all right, create this entity, you know?
How long you got Vegan Bites now?
It's at the 11th year.
The 11th year, and don't worry, when Dara have Bob Marley Day, when you have Lucky Do with Vegan Bites out there. So please tell people what part of the restaurant there, the hours we're open, because I want to make sure to tell somebody, for go to BTL Park. I know how to talk, I get excited when that's how I stay when I get excited. Go ahead, tell her, Ras Ruben.
Yes, well, we're at a BTL Park right now. Hours are from 12 to 3, Monday to Friday, and on Saturday I open in the evening from 7 until.
After
so that people, yes. So people get one opportunity when I come out during the week and can reach it for lunch, for test the food and try the food. So, you know, new customers open people's mind.
Tell us some of the niceties you have for your menu.
Well, today I like.
You don't send out the menu?
Day. No, I'm not sending it out yet.
All right, tell them what is for the menu for today.
Today is my favorite day because it's one of the day then with the most nutrient dense food, right?
Aye. Must be green thing in the talk about.
Yes, callaloo on the menu. Callaloo are like Belize safest greens, right? Well, like we got that in abundance. So, and nutrient dense in many ways, you understand? Have a lot of iron, you know, calcium. Callaloo good for you, yeah.
I
you could live off of callaloo. If I have to live off of one thing, I tell you, callaloo. I will live off of.
I know they said dark green is good for you, but I run for the dark green. So anytime I go, they know where I want to eat. But just, you know, he told my big brother, he said, put the callaloo on the plate. I'm like, And I saw it start to develop one. I have another sister who does eat if she wants to, but I saw it start to eat more greens because he insists, put it on the plate.
Yes.
Because you know, we know what's best for you.
Now, balance because we mostly attracted to the thing there where not good for we, and the thing that were good for we, like it's like a magnet, right? And you to repel, like you to fight against it.
Yeah.
That's why you lack of it in your system. So if something there where you know good for you and you not partaking in it, you most definitely short at the nutrients there in your system, which is very important. So we must look for the thing there where the face we as people right now, you know, everybody knows somebody with dead from cancer. Everybody see where they go and struggle right now. As you reach up there in an age, it becomes more difficult. People are dead at a younger age right now, I believe. So the awareness of how to eat at least a little bit better every day is essential right now. So this is my part what I can bring to my people as my inspiration, right? Today we have beets on the menu. Beets right now, we don't even have that at availability.
How much do you sell beets for the market?
Right now, beets are like $4. Listen, so this is why you said the right thing, that the prices cannot really remain honest right now. Yeah. But I still try to bring it to my people, and because I know the necessity, right? And I just work with it, right? But everything doubling in the last 2 years, everything double.
Like what so?
Potato, carrots, onion, sweet pepper, beets, everything where I cook,
Double.
everything, double. Calalodas be $1.75 cents. Right now, Calaloda $2. You understand? So everything has increased dramatically based on consumption and based on necessity and demand. You understand? So that atmosphere we're living in this world right now.
So
make I get back to the menu.
Yes.
Quinoa. You say quinoa.
Superfood.
You understand? Nutrient dense. You understand?
Some people might not know what nutrient dense mean.
It means it have a lot of vitamins and minerals. You understand? And like probiotics. You have everything in there to help the intestines and the guts and the system work well. Because right now, in order we strain for we system, and we overeat one, and we eat the wrong thing there. So if you overeat and eat the wrong thing there, it compounds the problem after 20, 30 years. So most of the people there right now, they suffer from overweight, obesity, from diabetes, hypertension, kind of eat a lot of salt. And now they try to find solutions to these problems, and then they run to modern day medicine, where they strain the system, you understand, because what the medicine they do, it put a pressure upon your liver and your kidney, and then they got kidney failure. Then the more money they have to go spend again to try to deal with that, you understand? So
the people got a vegan bites.
The best thing for you to try to understand how to eat better. At least you can eat 100%. Nobody can put loan, 100% food in there, but this is what it is saying in their mind. But when they go to the gas station and they got the 2024 vehicle, they want to put in super, they want to buy additives for that thing, they continue to perk it up, and then they go perk down themselves. So the insanity we deal with, we must look for ourselves and say, you know something, this body what we have, this is not 2000 nothing, you understand? This is our infinite, and so you must take care of this body like our temple, the true temple of the Most High.
So you have quinoa. What else to the menu? Calalo.
Asparagus. Asparagus, the one of the superfood. Then where these foods they have thing in there where people never understand. They got something there, prebiotics. That means this asparagus, when you ingest it and you eat it, it's going in your guts. But you know, start really do nothing in your guts. You are ingest it and going way in your large intestine before you start react and create. And you get things out of it where your large intestines lock off. Okay. All human beings.
So when you know the asparagus, never see it in our life.
Asparagus. So because it not grow, grow here. Kale grow here. But it grow, it grow.
So every Wednesday you got their nutrient dense food?
Yes,
what you say you like?
These food, quinoa, asparagus,
calalo,
beets.
Beets,
the one of the food that were good for your blood pressure. You understand? It bring down your blood pressure because it open your blood vessels.
Oh, so that's asparagus.
Things move, yes, that's asparagus.
Oh, maybe get it straight too. It got juice too, you know. So it got beet juice. Yeah. Oh, look here, I got people who want to add for him beet juice. Like, I don't like beets. But I come on African Emancipation Day. I want girl and a beet juice. I never know beet juice could taste so nice. So when you put in an order for beet juice, please get your number.
My number is 667-1652. I post my menu on WhatsApp on my status. And if you want a menu personally, or if you want to be a part of the broadcast list, you could text me, WhatsApp me, and I could add you. So that you could see. After order, you could see the menu every day. and get one awareness, you understand?
Okay, tell me what else is on the menu. And I understand you got nutrients dense.
Brown rice, we cook brown rice every day. You know, right now kind of short of brown rice, because it's a seasonal thing too. Belize produce some good brown rice too. Yes.
I never know that.
Yes.
All right. So, what else? What else?
Lentils. Lentils are the highest peas. One of the highest peas are like split peas. Super power in charge. You understand? So lentils are one of the most nutritional peas. You understand?
And you buy that by the pound?
Yeah, we buy. We import that too. We import split peas. We import a lot of anything. Yeah. You understand? But we're glad that we could still import. Remember that they go through a lot of things right now. Directly I can't import.
And then talk about the meat substitute. My favorite things to eat.
We have soy meat because a lot of people, you know, they feel like they can't eat without meat. So we have a meat substitute, what texturized protein they call it, soy meat, where we create something out of it. Today we have beef and broccoli.
Beef and broccoli.
Yeah. So,
but you know what? Another thing to know, this is enough for me.
Yeah.
But people are like, listen, I can't keep the good of vegan rice. I can't afford it. If I'm enough to prepare the food, so I think you need one food. Sure, you need for sure how to cook the food and empower it even more, brother.
That all in the pipeline right now, you know. But with the balance yourself, we try to create this.
11 years that time for the food show, Ruben.
Everything that time, you know, because we can't just have our food show and we don't have it set up right. You understand? So we want, whenever we go live or anything, we'll bring you in.
I want to taste the food, yes. I there for the eating, just the eating, nothing else. And then what I appreciate about it, for the longevity of it, is that you have, first it was your daughter, now it's your partner.
Yes.
So you got on a space where you see people look like we.
Yes.
And proud of their blackness.
Natural.
Always want high vibration. So Vegan Bite has become a community hub.
There was space where people, you see, when people become conscious of eating, it brings more awareness of everything really, because you become aware. And that's awareness we try to bring to the people. And so if you open their mind, that they could really live their full life and enjoy their life, because about love, this thing that about love, you know. If you don't have love in the center of the thing, right? You know, really blossom and grow. Even you, if you live every day and your face have a frown, 10 out of the whole 24 hours, your face become wrinkled that way. If you smile every day like, yeah, happy, you move happy and you become that.
Yes.
Understand? So we are what we most meditate on. You understand?
We
so
are
we have to generate that.
For
so
sure.
that create an atmosphere of people will come wrong way. Then they pan a piece and kill so the conversation they always nice. You understand?
Like Black.
Big up Black. Black now
like.
Like.
On the motorbike, he always come.
The brother upon the
motorbike. He usually eat
Stephen.
I don't know his name, but I always see he know a regular. You have some regular doctor that are regular. You have people who are like regular for years.
Black stay to push the food them on the social media and show people where they go. So Black have a lot of pictures. I think a lot of evidence of what we do.
But I was about to say, when you see Black body, and he tell you like he
Black take care of himself, man.
Really big up, my brother. That's how broad is. Yes.
Big respect. That inspiration to right.
And this is how spiders when got a regular spider. When they go, they get plates. Like then the whole for them, they cook for them, put it on the table. They don't get food, like they get plates.
They got it one plate. One plate.
Tell them about the juice. Tell them about all the juice there.
Well, right now we make beets, carrots, watermelon, ginger, lime, ginger, pine, sorrel, orange, tamarind. I have a cucumber right now and we're having celery, apple, pineapple, and mint. And I have it today, but because of the market, this holiday create a lagging and what we get the market, so everything I really replenished.
How much are the juices?
Different prices, $4 to $6.
$4 to $6.
The beets stuff is $6 because the beets and the celery right there. Then they have more than 5 ingredients. So, And most of these juice are not having no water, no sugar.
And then your food prices range from what to what for a plate of food?
$8 for any 3 of the regular item there. $11 for any 4. The specials, the tamales, the asparagus, the quinoa, things like that, they cost a little bit more. And you could add the options from the regular items to them, you know.
And then my favorite. You want to tell about my favorite?
Lasagna.
Yeah.
So people like what I like, you know, so I would try create certain things that keep the people always interested to, right?
Oh, guess what? We got dessert too.
Yeah.
Tell them about the dessert.
Well, right now one of the favorite cake then a sour sap cake.
Cha!
Yes, we'll make a sour sap cake tomorrow. Right now we have a chocolate cake today. And
no, the
orange
cookies.
cake.
Oh my gosh.
All
I'm
right,
telling you, the cookie, like you could just have one cup of tea and drink one and eat one and biscuit, and you, that's your tea for the morning or tea for the evening. A full, a nutrient. Tell them about the cookies.
Oatmeal raisin cookies. It's very, it catch a crowd, you know, it's nice. I family eat it, you know, but I try balance the thing. I try keep it, you know, interesting and make the people feel good when they eat. And I try create this stuff there where I know that they lack, you understand?
What
Like the tamales having...
Show the tamales, Alexei.
The tamales having, yes, having chocho. Because people don't eat chocho like that. So I said, I need to get the people if eat chocho. So I put the chocho in the tamales as a base, and then I have in eggplant, zucchini, broccoli, cauliflower, and I make only meat substitute out of plantain where I put in there, you know.
So make a find out.
Yeah.
How long it take you to prepare this every day? Like, what time you get up? What time you go in the kitchen? And what time it have? Why I'm supposed to tell her, Ruben, I watch up at 11 o'clock and at 12 o'clock, you don't reach her yet.
Yes.
Why I want to tell her? But
yes.
you know why I go? But
apologies to all my customers. Sometimes it take a little bit longer than I want to, and then, you know, because with growing pains, we try elevate, we try open a new spot, a new kitchen, we try elevate. So sometimes the thing that we do right now, it could have a delay, you know. But for the most part, I cook. Like, it depends on what I do. Certain things make fun last night. Certain preparation, juices. Certain things have to make long before 12 o'clock. But I would have start like around 7:30. We'd have start put on certain fire, cut up this necessary things there, and get this thing ready. You know?
We had a sister, I think 2 weeks ago, and one of our brother, I keep forgetting the brother name. It start with a C. I forget the name. But he said the most important part of cooking that I love.
Yes.
Because you could, I don't care how skilled you may be,
Yes.
people could feel the love.
Because you have to enjoy what you do. If you do something and it burden you, it'll weigh your shoulder, boy, I have to put that down. You understand? So I try cook happy. I try create a song vibration around me while I cook, where balance the food also, keep my mind balanced. I still watch things where they enhance what I do, enhance what I do, right? So that I can have more connection to what I do. So about the joy of doing what you're doing. That's why you like what you do, right? You
That's
like
right.
You
I
enjoy
like
this, right?
give good trouble.
So you're happy.
You know one of the best things though is that you can look for him and see that he eat the food.
Yeah.
I tell people,
No,
you know, like if you're gonna want stylist and the stylist here, if you're gonna a nail technician and the nail technician nail another point, you want to provide. We need to see an example of your liberty based on the food where you to tell we so good for it. So you never see Ras Ruben looking but slim and trim. You never see him vex up. I mean, you could get low
vex to man, but I try. I got points where I break, you know. I got things where, you know. But then I remind myself. Now I remind that you have to remind yourself.
Yeah.
You have to tell yourself that behave now, stop. It's bad for you. You release chemicals within you when you get angry, where they kill you. You suffocate yourself. Like your anger, they choke your own self. So try control that. Try, you know.
Yeah.
And the
I have
food,
to
eat
go.
the good food.
But before you go, please
Bless
give
the
me your
Lord.
phone number again because he's available for catering. Yes.
Of course, all of that stuff here, if you want it in a like abundance, like more than what we cook. Because we don't create a whole stockpile of thing, because every day we cook fresh food, right? So we just create to what we perceive, or when you order, if you order early enough, I could create the stuff there.
Oh, that's another thing.
know?
You better order
Yeah,
early.
because we cater for people, and this are like, you know, special. This are like a special catering daily. So you, for being a part of it, you have to log in and, you know, transform your system.
Give them, so you get a number for make you could call on here, tell them the truth. Order on the food early, because the menu come out early. And secondly, when you go call this number for catering, he got a big job. No, he can handle it. No, he got $500, no worry about nothing. He got it. Tell your number, brother.
667-1652. 667-1652.
On the notice, he got a shot was a vegan, but he didn't joke with you, brother.
That's all in your uniform right now. But the work about it, about everything with it tightened up. But
Big respect, brother.
Give thanks, Belize. Give thanks to all of my customers that will continue to support. Give thanks to you, YaYa, because you are big strength all the time.
Every
you
time,
never
brother.
left me out. You understand? So I give thanks. And you know, I like when you come and happy up the place too. Vibes up the place. No colors on that. Iron sharpen iron, well, it means sparks fly too. So we give thanks, right?
When I call him, go for the show, he said, I know it, you know. I knew me a call. So that's me and your sister, good.
Blessed love. Give
One
thanks
love
to
every
the
time.
invite
Much love and
always.
vibration to Vegan Bites, your partner, all the customers. This is where healthy communities look like, feel like, and not why.
Yeah, I want to give away one plate of food.
Oh, you want to give me a plate of food? Okay.
A plate of food, I want juice. On $11 plate, I want juice to the right.
Okay, so what are the question you want to answer? I got a quick call for me. When I give $11 plate of food, I want juice. Whoever call first, I answer the question. What are the question? We want to ask them for make them apply. Okay. What about Vegan Bites restaurant there? Half an hour the restaurant there for go get a bag of food. The number for call at 280-5848. You got hold of 3 minutes. Click, not touch that phone. And you can't call it. The number at 280-5848. Call and tell what about Vegan Bites restaurant there. That one is easy. 280-5848. If we're not calling in the next 3 minutes, I won't have to eat the food. We don't want to tell you now. Rasuben, one other thing why really matter is that Rasul, when you move out of the community where you grew up in now.
Yes.
You stay in the community where you're fortunate that you got property that you can expand your kitchen, but Rasul, when stay in the community where you grew up in now. What do you do with food well left over? If you have leftover, this is how.
Whenever I have
but just
leftover.
tell how real this brother real and how invested in only living in the community, how invested he is in the people in the community. Where do the leftover food?
Whenever I have leftover food, I try to feed people. You know, there were a lot of homeless people at Belize. And
Marin, tell what part Vegan Bites Day.
Well, the new place that they own outside on Ebony between Vernon and by Blackwood House.
In the Ruben
You know where I'm house.
You know where the house. What part of business day?
I know they have one out by BTL Park.
All right. What you name and then you have to call. You have to contact Ruben. Well, you have to go to BTL Park with your ID and then collect your food. What your name?
Colville Murillo.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I should have known this voice. I should have known. You need to make one song for Vegan Bites.
Blessed Lord.
Well, brother, thank you so much for tuning in and for call right away and get your $11 plate of food from Vegan Bites and your juice. Big love. Thanks.
Sure.
Guys. All right. Morning. We done give her the food and the drink already. Sorry, sis. Listen to me. The food and the moving your sit up. Good morning, WUB. How may I help you?
Good morning.
Morning. The food and drink done gone already. Somebody done with it.
Alright, I like your style, your style.
Where is that?
I like your style, your man.
You say love,
oh, Thank you, brother. Thanks so much.
Always.
That people can make you feel good.
Always.
Thanks,
Always.
brother. Appreciate the love. Make sure you go to Vegan Bites and buy food here.
You stay elegant, YaYa.
One love. Guidance. All right, we have to don't know. That's why I love Belizean people. I love Belize. Remember, I don't have to go 10 o'clock. The Bliss Institute, because Kenny Morgan, they release a book of poetry. 10 o'clock, the Bliss. You know, got 20 minutes. No, hour and 20 minutes, but I have to tell you 10 o'clock. Russ Ruben, enough love, brother.
Blessed love.
I wish you the best, big prosperity. And I look forward to the new kitchen that open up. Look at it, man, know your house address yourself. I tell you, come on. And we'll wait for this food show.
Yes, all that in the pipe.
All right, then, all right. Break time.
Blessed love.
In Belize, we value
Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. I know I'm in the hollering on the ears most of the past hour. Forgive me, please. But when we talk about literacy and vegan bites food, that's something to get loud about. And one of my sister from New York sent a text and a big up Ras Ruben Vegan Bites juice. She said, my brother beach juice is the best. I know it is, Sherilyn. I know it is. And then, let me see, people that text me. So the sister McCarlin bought a book, text as well, for make sure you get my phone number. And so I'm saying to Belizean people that we have one duty for take care of ourselves. Remember the phone number at 280-5848. Thanks to the people that were calling for get that $11 plate of food from Vegan Bites and Juice. People tune in and they listen. It's not that I don't appreciate having guests on Sunday Review, on Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. I just exhausted of seeing the same people that say the same thing year after year. So I prefer bring guests where we generally wouldn't say or we're not hear from for a while, to hear how they grow, develop, then connection to the community, and opportunity for the community, call in, share how much they appreciate the service that people in the WUB community they provide for we. It really make a difference. So that's why we double up today. Next, who the hammer down there so? I hear the hammer from up here. Ask them for please wait for me for about 50 more minutes and then we are done. So we have guests all on next week. Caller, thanks for calling. How may I help you?
Morning, sister.
Morning, brother. Tell me.
I don't know if you noticed, but remember when I called 2 or 3 weeks ago before the heart incident happened?
Mm-hmm. I remember. And I was saying make the news after that.
And look what happened, right? The unfortunate sin. Cruel to dumb animals. Man, Jesus, and up to today, them boys still riding hard all over the place like that. We are going peaceful. Where the authorities, they will get, why they start the prevention better than they could see if they cure somebody from the longer run. I mentioned it already, God forbid the animal need to get transferred from point to point in our trailer. They're not so serious animals, the animal ever get out and kick a poor child. God forbid, at the fall of the big authorities.
I hear you, brother. Thank you. It's the brother, it's at the second call or the third call, the brother make the set to the authorities that other than, company news when something really terrible happened and then everybody on social media they talk about the horse dead or what happened to the horse, then beat on bad. The brother said, still listen horse in the community to run about like something needs to be done. Talking. Do something about it for the protection of the animals and for the safety of people in the communities. I hear you loud and clear, brother. You'll take your good credits and call again this morning. The number is 280-5848. I will have to go to a break quickly and come back and wrap the show. But definitely want to say to Belizeans that there are people in our WUB communities what are the beautiful things. Beautiful things, but we not see enough of them people. We not hear enough of their stories. Over and over again, we hear the worst of our people, the worst of our communities. And that become normalized as if we know, like good and bad in our people. We want to see and hear more positive, uplifting stories. It makes a difference. It really does. So, and they encourage one another. And the self make we encourage one another. And you hear what the literacy teachers say. I seldom hear teachers say that children not have self-confidence, they doubt themselves, and that's a part of growing up. Somehow we never get the encouragement, we become adults who are very insecure and touches both on a lot of things. And so that we encourage with children then, if we talk to our children with kindness, pull them aside, stop them, embarrass them publicly. My goodness, you don't want nobody to do that to you. Allow them a moment for express themselves and stop the do what I say, I know what I do, stop being hypocritical. With children, they're unable to read adequately. They know I make it in a life. They're not going far. Most of them. In a 2025 and beyond, you need to be literate, able to read, able to write, able to express yourself, and do it confidently. Honor the people and save the people, Belizean people. Break time. Last break for the morning.
Take a deep breath.
welcome back to the final segment of Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes talk show here on XTV in sweet Southside Belize City. The time for Shut Up Shop. We had a lot of conversation, or not a lot as in numbers, but really healthy, meaningful conversations as it relates to Belize and Belizeans primarily. When it comes to literacy, when it comes to eating healthy, the people we have wrong way, the importance of a healthy community. We learn about Belize tongue, we learn more things about Belize tongue, Brother Colleen, and we tell you about the concern we have about the horse. Yesterday, somebody on Facebook, and I never get one chance to read it, so I want to hurry up and read this now. The person had a valid point about a complaint I had over the holiday, over the Easter holiday at one of the water taxi. This person's name was Stanley Wright, and the person said, "This is Belize, and I'm totally surprised the behavior at the terminal is a surprise to you. The majority of businesses in Belize are like that. It's a hard thing to accept as a local Belizean when you visit the country, and a total embarrassment for the visiting foreigners, and it's not getting better at all. I, as a Belizean, I am ashamed at some of the things you see going on with customer service. Go to the border and just watch what goes on at the customs there." So we need to do better in a customer service, and I usually blame that for management. Well, thanks to security guard Roger Rushford, known as Rapper, when I come in at 6 this morning, Shane Flowers is now at the security booth. Our Master Chief Operator, my water done, and I need water. The Master Chief Operator was Sister Alexis Belial, and she was always handy as always. Showed the flyer for Kenny Morgan's book launch at 10 o'clock this morning. Showed Ras Ruben tamales. Ras Ruben say, I get Alexis with tamales, and Cliff get the next one. Cliff one look really big. And then Cliff Lewis, who had a birthday this past Saturday, was the chief engineer here at XTV. In Crumraja, we had Larry G. Larry G, thank you for telling me about the cemetery around the Farbers Road area. Go fast, go look. Cliff say, he know one grave stone where they to. My maternal great-grandmother, who was mixed with Indian, lived in that Calcutta community. My mama born 1943. So, yeah, I sure my auntie must be about 18 when I don't hold my auntie when he had my mama. My auntie no. I don't hold my granny when he had my mama. But I have interest in the Indian community, in a Belize tongue in particular, what I call Calcutta, or in the book say. I don't like use the other C word because it's a derogatory term to call people. But anyways, the show on repeat at 3:30. Immediately following the show, stay tuned for the morning stew. And then with health and strength, I should be back next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't think for the, 17 plus years at on TV, I don't think I ever host WB for so long. It's exhausting, especially today, the long day. But I'm really thankful for the opportunity Most High has given me. I know they're on different vibration, but you know, they switch up good sometimes to go on a female vibration for the WB behind the desk. Tomorrow should be Brother Nuri Muhammad, and Friday. I encourage you to continue to stay tuned to XTV Belize products. Share the link, share the link, share the link. XTV Belize Facebook, XTV Belize YouTube. Give thanks to my people out of the country, but Lincoln, Sister Sonia, Sherilyn. Big thanks. Stay connected with what's happening in the country. Belizeans at home, for goodness sake, make much of the moments that we have with one another. Try your best to live your best life right now. Till then, remember say, only the people and save the people.
Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. just show my people. Belize our hopes up to needless reason. Nobody feel left out is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah.